going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another great episode of Shyt Talkin Time with your boy Girl. You know me as well. At another great episode for you guys today. We're going to tap in about this whole GQ interview that Jay Z just put out yesterday. Also, before we get started, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you smash that like button. And always go check out the sponsor. Definitely rocking that hard Stripe Active Wear. I know a lot of people be hitting me up saying, "Oh, I don't see that stuff on the site." That's because it's my shit. So I get stuff that people can't get. I like to wear my own thing. Like I don't want y'all seeing like, "Oh, that shirt is hot." Some other stuff y'all can get, but no, y'all can't get everything. Some stuff is exclusive to me. But let's dive right into it. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's good to have a different topic for y'all guys. No negativity, no bullshit. So it's a pleasant day. Pretty good interview. I don't feel like the interviewer grilled him too much. He seemed more like a fanboy. That's why I say a lot of times they need to let strangers and interview these people and not employees of the magazines and things because they're not going to ask the real hard questions. I'm glad that he soft answered because I definitely wanted to know what happened with the Diddy situation. I would have asked him what is his current relationship with 50 Cent? Is there even a beef with him and 50 Cent? What's going on as far as an actual real Rockefeller reunion tour? I had a bunch of questions I would have asked him that he did not care to ask. Like I said, he was a whole fanboy. Um, Even as far as like certain questions that he allowed him to ask. Like for me myself, doing podcasts and I started to realize how an interview was supposed to interview. At one time, it was like, okay, you shoot a bunch of questions and you let the person talk themselves through the interview, and that's considered as an interview. But a lot of times it's like it's the question logs that matter. See what I'm saying? Like I'll really probably say only two questions that the general public cared to hear. Most people are expecting stuff like that because he's a very quiet person. And it's like a lot of people around me will be like, "Oh, he undercover Jay Z hater." No, I'm not an undercover Jay Z hater. It's just a simple fact. I go off of what he says. Man, a lot of women, a lot of numbers don't. So I go off the stats from beginning to end. I don't just go after the stats once you hit $1 billion, and that's what a lot of people get. I don't say nothing from you. Should I listen to his music? Even I wish I could have been sitting in that seat when he asked him when he brought up the Nas and him battle because I would have told him like I didn't take a side. The reason why I didn't take a side, and it would have probably blew his mind at the time, but I'm like, let's keep it 100. If I had to choose a side, I'm whole to the death. You come in my house, you never heard me playing Nas, but I love Nas music. The difference was at the time, Nas was going platinum in a day. Hove was going gold. So if you had to pick upon stats, everybody would have had to shift to Nas way. But ask the reason why they didn't go with Nas. Because that battle was for the underdog. That's why the underdog won. If Jay-Z is a cocky person, so he would never say he's seen himself as the underdog. Why I consider him as the underdog is Jay-Z could have possibly won platinum in a day back then. He didn't have the machine behind him that Nas had from a major label. So that's why I use the phrase underdog. You got a major label pumping these diss tracks, getting them on the radio, converts to just Rockefeller. Some guys, a couple guys from the neighborhood, worried about getting some music out of things like that. So that's why I'm gonna say to me, he was the underdog, and that's why a lot of people chose his side. Nas had a label and a bunch of money behind him. Jay-Z didn't. So I mean that's why I didn't make a choice. And if I did have to make a choice, he would have been my choice. Number two, I listened to him way more than I listened to Nas. I'm not saying that, because like Nas kind of lost me. Jay-Z stayed grounded. Like when Nas started trying to build the Brave Hearts and do all this other stuff, and then he started trying to get back on the super self-conscious. He kind of lost me in his journey. Most likely, like I tell people, these are artists and musicians. They go through their journey and transition. Some people, grow with them and they can understand the transition. Some of them can't. Nas kind of lost me at a way. Jay-Z never lost me. See what I'm saying? So it's like it is what it is. So for me, he would have definitely probably been like, damn, at the time, no, at the time I stayed neutral because in the beginning it was like, damn, I listen to Nas a lot, but I also, root for the underdog. And for me, I'm sorry, he was the underdog at the time. So I would have took Jack. Um, Carry on, like I said, another question that I would have asked him because like 50 Cent brought up and he likes to talk business. I would have asked him, can he break down his idea of the RBK deal? Because like 50 Cent said, he kind of said that they needed each other, but Jay came to him. He did a favor. Not 50 needed Jay Z to sell his RBK, so he came to him. So I always wanted to ask, well, hey, man, you gonna ever repay that favor? See what I'm saying? So for stuff like that, them the little questions that you get to chuckle from me, but then you really want to know. And then it's like, I got like real life questions that I would have asked them too. Like, how is it, like, explain to me how it is to be a billionaire superstar parent. I tell people all the time, we have a lot of hardships parenting broke. So I would like to hear some of the struggles that rich parents go. Some of them might be similar. I don't know. I mean, our kids don't run around with private security and nannies in different states and 10 houses, but I would like to hear some of the struggles that rich parents go through. Because if you hear the stories and the shit he go through, it sounds normal like us. That's why he referenced to a lot of tracks in that song in that interview because that's the way that he feels. Um, as far as like I said, the whole little Diddy case thing, I don't know because like I said, if you was around back in the day, everybody knew Jay Z pull up to the studio 3, 4 bitches, lead the club 3, 4 bitches. I guess I can't see that one night he decided to go little girl. I'm kind of lost. So even for me, it was kind of crazy, but it was just, kind of crazy to hear him say how it fucked him up. Because I'm thinking like, come on, man, this nigga got money. His wife no damn well he ain't touch touch no kids, no shit like that. So I'm like, what he worried about it for? But the way he broke it down, it really did bother him a lot. But I guess it's just the accusations out there. But my thing is, like I tell people, his accusations come out. He ain't lose no endorsements. He ain't lose no contracts. He ain't lose none of that shit. Other people accusations come out, they lose everything. He get a chance to keep everything until they prove innocent. Everybody else, like I said, you get crucified before you even get your first court appearance. You get your first court, you get crucified before they even bring the other party in to offer them a peaceful resolution. So that's one thing I was like, okay, that was kind of like something they could have left out because nobody bought it except for the people who put it out there. So, but for me, I wish we could have got a little more out of him because, like I said, this is not somebody you get to sit and talk. Um, when you say Jay Z, I figured we would at least get like a 2 hour joint with Angie Martinez or somebody, or one of the OGs of the game, something that's going to really feel comfortable sitting there digging in with the good questions, not just with the fans' comments want to hear or what fanboy interviewers want to ask them because nobody really cares. See what I'm saying? We want to hear the hard questions. I'm glad that he did let him chime in on the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef, and I'm glad he openly expressed how he felt about it, which we all knew. And then I know a lot of people was like, "Ah, man, he did that nut shit at the Super Bowl." I mean, at the end of the day, man, the only people that would have seen that being a good move is putting Drake up there would have been Drake. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because if y'all notice, close to the Super Bowl, Drake team started pushing out how his streams were the same, his album sales were the same. But then you got people like me who go to his actual YouTube channel and show that his videos ain't getting viewed like they used to. His retention is down. his viewers is down. Yeah, it's just because it's Drake, so the channel is still popping, but it's not doing what it was doing before. So when you come to have to put on a Super Bowl show, you got to think legendary. And at the time, he wasn't legendary. You were legendary, but at this time, no, you was. So I agree that he went with the better business move, which he should have. Same thing with this year. A lot of people was upset, but he went with the better business move, which you should have anyway. I mean, you do what's best for the business always. That's what you're there for. You're the Super Bowl hired you to make their show interesting, not to make it fair. So y'all got to remember that it's business at the end of the day. But for him saying how he said, because I agree with him, who gives a fuck if they going at each other? That don't hurt his money. It don't. They not his fans. They not part of him. So ain't neither one of them signed to him, managed by him. I don't even think they do their tours on his circuit. So what could he care about Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef? I was very interested with the whole J. Cole thing because I do agree with him, but then I disagree with him. Now, like he said, it was they he felt like it was more because Jay-Z would play around, but it said like it was more like the producer thing. So with the producer thing, I can understand that this producer could have made hit songs with you, Rihanna, the list goes on and on. But like you said, if he want to be his own artist and he don't feel the direction of that producer, it should be his choice. Now I understand you could be upset because I actually got somebody who would have never produced him to produce him, and I think that they can make something magical. So I get both of y'all anger, but you turn right around in the same sense and say, I wanted him to be his own. I wanted him to come out as his own. So it kind of seemed like he did what he did. So for me, to be honest, this is a message for Jay-Z. Maybe you need to be the older, be the bigger man and go back and just let him know. Probably after he see this interview, he probably gonna be like, oh shit, I thought Bull was really tight with me, like tight, tight. That's all it is. Okay, let me drop a line. Because for me, myself, I like that relationship, period. Like they got the both same slick talk with each other. They take their shots. The way they same is that way kind of to me. So I really feel like Jay-Z and J. Cole should be on one page because I think they really could do some good shit together. Um, I would have asked them, is it any way possible that we would ever get a Drake and Hove song? Not through Khaled getting verses from people and mashing them together. Like, will we ever get a sit down studio session or send a verse or I don't know, like, will we ever get a Hove and Drake song? I always wondered that. That's a question I would have asked him. And then number two, I would have asked him, like, how do he feel about not the current state of his underlings, but how does he feel about, sitting back and what's the one thing that he could say or a few things he would say to defend himself from everybody that's throwing stones at him? And I mean, it's kind of crazy when it's like you got so many people that love you, but all the people that's throwing stones at you are all the people you help make money. A lot of the people that you made rich. And I just wonder, how does that feel? Like, do you feel like you did something wrong to them? Do you feel like it's something that you missed? Do you feel like if you can go back, it's something you would have did different with these group of people? Because to me, like, I don't really see the bad blood should be there, but it's there. And I mean, I would really like to hear his story because, like I said, we hear a lot from the other people, but he does this thing where he stays quiet for so long because it's like he ain't entertaining anybody or anything. But the problem that he doesn't realize is him being quiet and not entertaining is giving people ideas that these people could be telling the truth or could be right about him in some way, shape, or form. So that's why when you get him on a platform, man, you need to have like 2 hours straight, not a 45-minute conversation. Look like it was broken down into days, I guess. But I'm just saying, it's like it's a lot with that shit. But definitely cool seeing him out on, out in the world. I definitely agree with he say. A lot of people I know woke up 2026 is going to be a very productive year. Definitely a year of action, year to get shit done. So when he say stuff like that, Jay Z weird. I don't know if that's him letting us know he's going to do music this year, or that's him letting us know that he about to start popping back out doing shit, or he got some business move coming. Now, I am from Philly, as we know, and we do have a Roots picnic, and I know he is headlining it this year. Normally, people say, "Why is that so important?" Because normally he does Made in America. That's his event. The Roots picnic is something that's set up by the Roots. So, if I'm correct, this is probably gonna be the first time he headlined the Roots picnic. I know he has done Made in America before, but it's different. So I don't know if he's out here doing this press run to bring up the press for that or what it is, or maybe he got some new music coming out. But one thing about him, he don't come back outside for nothing. He then straight come outside to clear the air about nothing they asked him about. He got another reason he outside. They just ain't asking the right questions to find out why his ass back outside. But it's definitely gonna burn the internet up for a couple of days. So it's definitely something we had to talk about. I ain't got really nothing bad about the interview to say. I mean, he always did humble himself. I like how he feel. I see how he look at it. And I mean, I like how he look at things. Like I said, I just wish they would get him to answer some of the harder questions that the world want to know, not the commoners. But it is what it is. And I mean, I got a feeling this is not the last we will see of him because he's not going to sit in one place. You possibly could get a radio interview from him, a couple other things about this little run because he's not going to do just one. So just stay close, see what he got going on. I know he got a lot of legal shit going on. They trying to sue Rock Nation and Live Nation and all these other people that's tied to him. He got a lot of stuff going on. Um, I would have definitely asked him about the Tory Lane situation because a lot of people want to know. It's not about whether I think it's true. Did they set him up? Are they sandbagging him? I just want to hear what he got to say. I would have asked him, does he really care about how people perceive him for working with Gloria Perez? Knowing that it is what it is. Like these are the questions that probably, like I said straight up, I would have started off the interview by saying, "Hey, listen, y'all, this is gonna be a banging ass interview, but GQ is possibly gonna fire me because I'm not asking these questions on these cards. I'm going off my questions because it's the hard questions that the world want to know. And to be honest, man, that shit would have been Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp. You would have broke the internet. It's probably still gonna do good, but you would have broke the internet with that shit because people ain't got the heart to ask him the real shit. He probably wouldn't get offended. He probably wouldn't care. But at the end of the day, the interviewers themselves ain't got the heart to do it because they gotta protect their job and they scared to lose their brand and all that shit. But when you get them opportunities, man, you got to not give a fuck and you got to go for what you know because you ain't gonna get that man sitting in front of you never again. But thanks for checking in, man, to the new episode. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you smash that like button. And as always, man, go check out the sponsor, man. I ain't going nowhere.